What else, Philippa?
Also, I feel, and it's something that comes up again and again, is I feel, even though I created something really good for my sons, I also feel that I've let them down. That because I fell so hard, and 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 the way I behave, a way somebody behaves when they're burnt out, is emotionally unstable. So and them living with a mother who in some ways, I suppose, had always been so incredibly strong for them and had shown them how to stand up for themselves in life, had shown them, had protected them, had led the way, had created these things for them, was so weak and was so unstable and unable to sort of go out there and get another job again. It took me a few years to get a full-time job. They sacked me after 2 weeks because they realized you're still not back. I couldn't concentrate long enough. And so, and I also, at the time as well, when I was suffering, my youngest son was suffering as well. It took him time to get in, it took him months, maybe even a year, more than that, to actually really like living in Stockholm area. He would say to me sometimes, I miss Scotland. I'd like to just be able to turn up in school with the clothes that I love wearing, which was kind of like sports clothes. He loves sports. He says, I don't want to turn up in a Gant or Ralph Lauren pullover, etc., because that was the type of school he was going to, because that was the place that we'd moved to. And it's like, I remember him coming home one day and he says, Mum, are you expecting me to be a civil engineer? And I'm like, no, you can be whoever you like. And I'm like, where do you get that from? Yeah, because all of my friends at school, they're going to be studying this, this, and this to either become basically a lawyer or a civil engineer. That was the expectation. That was the place. So we had come literally from this Astrid Lindgren, Pippi Longstocking, you can, world where you can be who you are and you are the strongest to a, I'd also put him in a place where there was a completely different set of values and rules, which was so far from, his blissful childhood. He was a child still, although he was an early teenager. He was much more of a child than everybody else in his class. They were so much more streetwise. They were so much more grown up than he. And so that was also a part that really hurt, that added to that suffering that I was feeling. It was like, and today, I don't think either of them would ever say that they regret the move. And I know both of them are flying high and they're loving it. They're absolutely loving it. And my youngest son has the most amazing group of friends here, and he's had the most amazing experiences he would never, ever, ever have had if we'd stayed where we'd stayed. So, there's a happy ending to that. But Niyama, it still gets to me. I can still wake up, first thing in the morning and feel regret, feel, fear and shame, literally shame sometimes, because I won't even talk about it, and go, what did I do? What did I put my youngest son through? And even what worry did I put my kids through that I wasn't functioning for a long time? Even like before we moved, there were things that were not really functioning right, where I was low and pushing forward, and they were young teenagers. They can see it. They're not blind. They're kids. They sense everything. And so there's this feeling that I failed as a mother during that time as well. And I look back on that and think, you know, you sort of this classic sort of, I'd love to turn back the clock and do it differently. Not the move, but to have made it somehow better, to have been there more for them, to have been stronger, to have not let them down. So I didn't just let myself down, I let them down. And they are two people that are worried about me today. They will express worry, and they will say to me, we don't want you to burn out again. You know, oh, it's good that you're doing this, but, and I get it. I totally get it. I get where that fear is coming from. You know, you love your parents and you don't want them to go through something like that again, because you don't want to go through it again. You know, because it will affect them. Even though they don't live with me anymore, of course it's going to affect them if they knew that their mother then burnt out again. So there is a fear and a worry there sometimes, a kind of, we'll believe it when we see it, that you succeed. And that also plays into the fact that I feel that I can never, that burnout is something that is always there then. It's like, it can't, you know, it's like other things that have happened in my life, I can walk away from, you know, and it's history. But it's like, it's as though burnout won't let me go. I will have friends that will say the same as well. Watch out, you know, that you don't burn out again. Watch out that, you know, that you don't overbook yourself, that you don't do too much, that you know, you're a high achiever, you will. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And when you're passionate about something, you'll go all in. Yeah, I will. And so there's a part of me that feels that the world is not giving me space to be who I want to be. In a well-meaning sense, it's not in a, we're holding you back, but in some ways it is. It constrains me because that fear, that worry is contagious, like I said yesterday. And also it might not, you know, it will be contagious because then I will feel it. And I don't need that, because I can feel that all by myself at other times. You know, so it's compounded. It's like, I can feel that fear and worry on my own. And then I meet someone who expresses that fear and worry, and I get to experience that as well. So I get to experience my own fear and worry and somebody else's. It's like, you know what? It's actually enough that I have my own. Because everybody, my nose is running now. It's because everybody is, you know, has their own fears and worries. Every normal person does. And that kind of is enough. Having other people fear and worry as well about me, that compounds it. That makes it, you know, more fear and worry to deal with. And a sense of, what is it I have to do to prove to people that I've got it now? And so it's like, if I have a day where suddenly tiredness hits me, it's probably just because tiredness has hit me. It's because, you know, something's happened in my life, and you know, I was worried about something, or stressed about whatever, you know, or I did too much. I had, you know, it was too intense, and I got tired, just like any other person would. It doesn't mean to say I'm on the cusp of burnout again. because then the following day I'm fine again. Or, I recover. I go to bed early and I get up and I'm like, yeah, great. I was tired yesterday. I'm not tired today.
Yeah. As you say, there's a few different things that come up here. Thank you, Philippa. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being real here in this space. And it's the World Joy Movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself, and let's take the conversation to the next level, because you're there now.
All right, let's play.